Bom, pessoal, pô, recebi aqui um monte de mensagem aqui da galera falando aqui que viu mensagem no meu Twitter e, pô, eu nem sabia que tinha sido hackeado porque faz tempo que eu não posto nada, vocês veem aí, mas foi hackeado e eu vou estar resolvendo aqui e, pô, ainda nem sei o que tá acontecendo aí. Tem uma relação muito boa com a VC sempre e, pô, as pessoas gostam de, sei lá, de ver o mal. Então é isso, chama.
I don't know. That's kind of more so the question mark. Question mark for me. Does he have the ability to beat Ankalaev? Yeah, he has the ability to beat him, but it's all about how he makes adjustments.
There appears to be an issue for former UFC middleweight and light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira, just not the one that many thought. Pereira, on his X account, posted about his frustrations with UFC and that he's considering retirement. He stated, "I always answered the UFC's calls, but if they want to play with me, we can do that. I've never spoken poorly of UFC, but with what I've just heard, I'm disheartened. I've already had thoughts of not fighting anymore, and after what was just relayed to me, this may be the start." Naturally, this led to widespread speculation, and many assumed that Alex Pereira would be retiring from the sport altogether. Fans and media immediately speculated on the cause: possible pay disputes, matchmaking grievances, or being overlooked for a rematch after losing his light heavyweight title to Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 313 in March 2025.
Curious to know what he is referring to here. I don't think that there is a subsequent tweet, but this is alarming, to say the least, from Alex Poatan Pereira. Let me just click on his name here and see if there's, because he doesn't really tweet like that, does he? But it appears to be a thing, and I'm not really sure what it's referring to. Obviously, we've heard of the rumors of him fighting in August. He told us about that being a plan as well.
Which just proves the point further that, like, maybe he didn't want the rematch. Because the tweets that Ink was saying, like, literally like weeks after the fight, saying,
yeah, this is surprising. Alex Poatan Pereira, 36 minutes ago. What do we think he's referring to? Did they not want to pay him? Did they not offer? I don't know.
However, that was not the case. The narrative quickly shifted when Alex uploaded a clip where he stated that he is on good terms with the UFC, and it was, in actuality, a breach of his X account. He stated that the post was not from him, rather he was hacked. He confirmed that the message did not come from him or his team, and assured fans that he's still very much active in the fight game.
Bom, pessoal, pô, recebi aqui um monte de mensagem aqui da galera falando aqui que viu mensagem no meu Twitter e, pô, eu nem sabia que tinha sido hackeado porque faz tempo que eu não posto nada, vocês veem aí, mas foi hackeado e eu vou estar resolvendo aqui e, pô, ainda nem sei o que tá acontecendo aí. Tem uma relação muito boa com a VC sempre e, pô, as pessoas gostam de, sei lá, de ver o mal. Então é isso, chama.
That ain't me. It ain't me. No, 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 no. You know that song?
Nope.
It ain't me.
Taking advantage of the moment to get under Pereira's skin and supercharging fan engagement, giving the UFC's marketing machine fresh narrative fuel. The light heavyweight champion Magomed Big Ank Ankalaev only fanned the flames by cheekily claiming responsibility for Pereira's hacked post, tweeting, "It was me, I hacked his account. Don't worry, Alex, I'm waiting for you." This playful jab from Ankalaev didn't go unnoticed. The jab landed perfectly as fans flooded social media with talk of a potential rematch. Ankalaev's well-timed trolling didn't just get under Pereira's skin, it reignited interest in a second showdown between the two, giving the UFC's hype machine a fresh storyline to run with. One fan enjoying Ankalaev's take stated owned. Another tweeted, "I am starting to really like Ank." Moving on, weighing in on the possible rematch, Jamahal Hill shared his thoughts on what could unfold in a potential rematch, pointing out that there are still a lot of unknowns when it comes to Pereira in this kind of situation. Hill noted that fans haven't seen how Alex responds after taking a loss and coming back to face the same opponent. He referenced the bout with Israel Adesanya, where Alex won the first fight but was knocked out in the rematch, as a missed opportunity to truly see how Pereira would adapt. For Hill, the real intrigue lies in watching how Pereira adjusts his game plan and what new elements he could bring in the rematch.
At this point, I think it's I think we don't know. You know, we haven't really seen Alex in this situation. Whereas you know, what I mean, he took the loss and then he's coming back to fight the guy again. He beat Izzy, and then Izzy knocked him out. So I believe, like, you know, we didn't really get to see where he would add or adjust his game plan. It's the first rematch we've got to see him in. So I'm interested in seeing how he makes adjustments and how he could come out better and do more in this fight. So.
He doubled down on his belief, stating that Alex Pereira has what it takes to beat Big Ank in a rematch, but emphasized that it all comes down to adjustments. While acknowledging Pereira's skills and knockout power, Hill pointed out that the key factor will be how Alex tweaks his approach the second time around.
I don't know, that's kind of more so the question mark for me. Does he have the ability to beat Ankalaev? Yeah, he has the ability to beat him, but it's all about how he makes adjustments.
Echoing this perspective, Yuri Prochazka voiced his support for Alex Pereira, stating that Alex deserves the first shot at Ankalaev in a rematch for the title. According to Yuri, Pereira has earned the right to run it back, but also acknowledged that now might be the time for Alex to take a step back. He emphasized the importance of Pereira giving himself space to reset, reflect, and upgrade his style before jumping back into battle. For Yuri, it's not just about getting the rematch, it's about coming back sharper and more prepared to win it.
I think for the Alex, sure, for Alex is right. Like, he needs to prove, or he have to have the first chance to he deserved that to fight against the champion again right after, and but still I think he needs a little bit time to refresh himself after that and take a little bit time to upgrade the style, upgrade some few things and win the battle. That's all.
However, Pereira's coach, Plinio Cruz, has other plans. Cruz isn't interested in giving the former light heavyweight champion much time to rest. In fact, he's pushing for Alex to get right back into action, eyeing a return as soon as August against Ankalaev. Cruz believes Pereira doesn't need an extended break and is eager to see him defend his title sooner rather than later.
August against Ankalaev.
You like that?
100%.
That's enough time?
I want him to fight tomorrow.
Oh, you want him to, you don't want him to have a break?
No.
Why not?
No, I want him to have a break like he's having right now.
Yeah.
Right? The guy fought 4 times in 1 year. But I don't want to let it sit 1 year, 2 years, 6 months.
Do jeito que eu fiz ali, cara, eu não tenho que mudar nada.
The way that he was ready for the fight, there's nothing that we really got to change.
Okay.
Besides tactics, of course.
Although Cruz believes Pereira edged out 3 rounds, he isn't dwelling on it, stating there's no point in crying over spilled milk. Instead, he focuses on moving on so Alex may finish the job he started.
For what I saw, 5 feet from my eyesight, Alex won 3 rounds. I think the statistics, even for significant strikes, the 3rd round was Alex. So if it was a real takedowns on that round, how come they can score to that guy? But I don't want to go back and forth on this because we cannot cry over spilled milk, right? Now let's move on and just get this guy in front of Ankalaev again and let him finish the job that he started.
However, not everyone agrees with Cruz's assessment. Michael Bisping weighed in on the controversy, stating that Alex Pereira was not robbed and fully agreed with the judge's decision. According to Bisping, the right call was made, and he scored the fight 4-1 in favor of Ankalaev. From his perspective, Ankalaev did enough to secure the victory, leaving little room for debate on the outcome.
That Alex Pereira deserved to win the fight. I just did a review show for TNT Sports. One of the hosts on there thought that Pereira was robbed. It wasn't a robbery, it was the correct decision. I had Magomed Ankalaev winning 4 rounds to 1. I've already done my review. Ankalaev landed the bigger shots, he was more aggressive, he was going forward, and there was just more output. As I say, it was a lazy performance. Now, it wasn't lazy in terms of Pereira wasn't trying. It wasn't lazy that he was out of breath and tired and didn't prepare, even though he did get a little bit tired as the fight progressed, but that's normal. But the wrestling from Ankalaev certainly added to that. But what I mean by lazy is just the general amount of output that we saw. It just wasn't there. The appetite, the thirst, the hunger, whatever you want to call it, I didn't see it tonight. First and foremost, he defended about 3 times. That was his 4th defense in a ridiculous amount of time. The man deserves a break, but he said, no, I'm going to take a few days off and get straight back in the gym. And you got to respect that about Alex Pereira, and you got to think he's going to get an immediate rematch next. The question is, what will he do different next time? Because he seemed a little annoyed at himself. There was a lot of talk that he was flying all over the world and maybe not focused. I don't buy into any of that. He seemed prepared. He went 5 rounds. The takedown defense was on point. Just Magomed Ankalaev was the better man. It's as simple as that.
Assessing Pereira's physical limits, Daniel Cormier pointed out that Alex Pereira has likely maxed out the weight classes he can move up to. He states that at middleweight, his power was outright ridiculous, overwhelming opponents with ease. Even at light heavyweight, his knockout ability remained a serious threat, but the difference was clear. Fighters in the division could absorb his shots better.
I feel like we've kind of maxed out the weights at which he can go up, right?
Yep.
Because his power is so great. At middleweight, it was
ridiculous.
Yes. At light heavyweight, it was still ridiculous, but guys could take shots. That's why Khalil Roundtree went so long before he actually went down, right?
It was always going to be Magomed Ankalaev with the way that it was going. He was winning the fight, and it was kind of hard to give him the credit that he deserved just because we have seen Pereira on so many occasions flip a fight. Guys, this is 2 fights in a row where we have seen Poatan kind of losing. Tonight he wasn't able to work himself back into the fight. Magomed Ankalaev fought a beautiful fight.
Moreover, Cormier acknowledged that Pereira earned another shot at the title, not necessarily because of controversy, but due to the lack of a clear next challenger for Magomed Ankalaev. Given the current landscape of the division, he believes running it back makes the most sense.
I believe he earns a title fight again, a rematch, just because there really is no clear person as to who should fight Magomed Ankalaev right now. I think these guys should fight again because I believe that both would fight better. Both would fight better if they had to fight each other again. I think that it could be another fun fight.
Backing that take, Beneil Dariush threw his support behind an immediate rematch between Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira, arguing that there are no other clear contenders at light heavyweight who deserve the next title shot.
Yeah, I think the rematch makes a lot of sense, and I'm looking forward to seeing the adjustments they make. Typically, it's the guy who loses that makes the better adjustments when the fight is so close, but you know, Ankalaev and his team are so sharp. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see any other contenders in that division that are as worthy as Ankalaev or Pereira. I mean, the only guy I can really think of is Jan Blachowicz, but he hasn't fought in so long. So, but because in my opinion, he has a win over both guys, right? Just the way he fought these guys and how well he did.
However, even after the loss, Demetrius Johnson expressed his admiration for Alex, praising what he's accomplished in such a short time. Johnson said he's still a fan of Pereira, highlighting how impressive it is to perform at that level while constantly on the move. He pointed out that when you're traveling around the world like Alex and taking on endless sparring sessions, it can be tough to slow down and fine-tune your game.
I'm still a big fan of Alex Pereira. I think Alex Pereira, for what he's been able to do, 3 title fights in a span of 7 months. And here's the thing, when you travel around the world and you're doing all those sparring matches, it does give you the opportunity to actually hone in on your games. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I would love for him to spend more time in the gym. Like, hey, I want to work on my takedown. Pop, boom, double leg takedown. Okay, he you know, boom, pop, he sprawls. Okay, I'm gonna do a fireman. Like, I would love for him to take time and work on that. But then again, is that something that he wants to do?
But not everyone was thrilled with the performance. Dana White didn't hide his disappointment when reflecting on Alex Pereira's first clash with Big Ank. The UFC president admitted he was expecting a far more competitive bout, especially in terms of striking. White had anticipated a back-and-forth battle on the feet, but felt the fight didn't deliver the kind of fireworks fans were hoping for.
It was yeah, not what I expected. I expected a lot more shooting, expected a lot more exchanges. Yeah, I had the exact score in my head, but I thought Ankalaev won the fight. I wasn't like shocked when I heard the decision. I'm bouncing around, but do you see this everywhere? When somebody becomes a big star and they start making lots of money, there are lots of different doors that open and opportunities, but there's no doubt everybody knew that Ankalaev was going to be a tough fight for him. Everybody knew that this was going to be probably the biggest challenge of his career. And yeah, I wouldn't take anything away from Ankalaev and the pressure that he put on Alex tonight.
Adding to the conversation, Henry Cejudo suggested that Alex Pereira's busy lifestyle may finally be catching up with him. He pointed to Pereira's extensive travel, frequent social media skits, and overall commitments outside the cage as factors that might be affecting his performance. Given Pereira's star power and ability to draw attention, Cejudo believes the UFC would be eager to see him back in the title picture, making a rematch with Ankalaev a strong possibility.
Not taking away anything from Ankalaev, because Ankalaev did beat Alex Pereira. But I will say this, I think Alex Pereira's lifestyle is finally kind of catching up to him. It's finally catching up to him, the travel, the shama, a lot of the skits and a lot of stuff that he's actually doing. It's really not doing him any service. The only reason why I say is because his body looked a little different, dude. He looked a little pudgier. He looked a little thicker in the face going in. His composure, bro. He didn't react to a lot of Pereira's things where, a lot of these guys are like, Pereira throws and they'll like bring their arms. Like the dude had his hands up the whole damn time. And not just that, but Alex Pereira also has trouble with southpaws, dude. I said it in the beginning, dude. You take away his power, yeah, did he kick him? Cool. But Magomed Ankalaev did a really good job of kicking his legs too, man. With southpaw, he hurt Alex Pereira. What is next for Ankalaev? We heard Dana White said, oh yeah, possible rematch. In other words, the UFC, they do want a guy like Pereira to be a champion. They might want to. They might. No, of course. You know why? Shama. He brings entertainment. He brings the numbers, dude. Hey, the UFC's all
that's
based
not the
on
only
numbers.
reason.
He brings the excitement. He knocks people the fuck out, and that's why people do like him. That's why the UFC likes him.
In addition, Kamaru Usman highlighted how Alex Pereira appeared a step behind throughout the fight, struggling to keep up with Magomed Ankalaev's movement and speed. He pointed out that Ankalaev's subtle positional adjustments made a significant difference, forcing Pereira to constantly search for openings while being just a step too slow.
He was a step behind. As you see it, when they're both in the center and they're trying to jockey for position, Magomed Ankalaev is just able to like people underestimate the slight movements, just getting out of position a little bit. And Magomed would do that. And it seemed like Alex was behind it was just a step slower trying to find him.
Meanwhile, Chael Sonnen emphasized the importance of a fighter's ability to handle defeat, noting that fans struggle to support someone who can't move forward after a loss. He pointed out that Alex Pereira's willingness to stay visible and engage with the public plays a crucial role in maintaining his connection with the audience. Sonnen highlighted how a single shot of Pereira at the event spoke volumes about his character. According to Sonnen, this openness is a reason why the crowd continues to celebrate him.
If you give back, right, if you give back and you get out there and you show yourself, it's very hard to cheer for a guy if he can't handle the defeat. He's kind of got to show that he can deal with both sides of it, that life does move on, life does go forward. That simple shot of Alex Pereira, but it really told a heck of a story. And yes, I do think it's one of the big reasons that the crowd forgives him, accepts him, and is so happy to see him. And I just think that that's a little piece from Pereira. I don't think we expected him to surface. I don't think that we expected him to be dressed nice and not be moping around. Not to mention it wasn't a pay-per-view. It's in a different country. I mean, there was a lot of things where even I at home, when they did that cameo, I kind of popped. I was really happy to see him there. I thought that he looked great. I like that he shows his face. Listen.
In addition, Michael Bisping weighed in on Alex Pereira's defeat, suggesting that factors beyond the fight itself may have played a role. He reiterated Joe Rogan's reports that Pereira suffered from a broken hand and possibly the norovirus leading up to the bout.
That's why he's no longer the champ. That's why the crowd wasn't excited. And that's why he looked a little bit flat. Apparently a broken hand, and he had the norovirus as well, which basically is flu-like symptoms. You got diarrhea, you're on the toilet, you got a bad stomach. First of all, I just want to say that's not Alex Pereira that said that. That's actually the legendary Joe Rogan that said that.
Alex Pereira had a message for his fans following the defeat, making it clear that he wasn't going to offer any excuses, only a promise to put on a better performance next time.
Não quero dar desculpa. Eu acho que foi uma perca, mas acho que, como eu falei, eu vim fazendo muitas coisas, né, e muitas pessoas me apoiando. Eu já vi também alguns atletas que, pô, quando tava ganhando ali, as pessoas sempre elogiando e mandando mensagem, e quando perdia, pô, esquecia. E eu ficava assim, com medo, assim, pô, será que comigo vai ser assim também?
My fans, stay tuned. I know I'm not putting an excuse, but I'm going to put a much better fight for you guys this time. I'm really thankful for the love from all you guys, because back in the days that you see when some people lose, everybody abandoned them. The fans abandoned them. And some people sometimes go in the comments on my posts and say, yeah, when you lose, everybody's gonna leave you. Like, or nobody's gonna, and honestly, I even question myself if everybody let me go. And the love is the same. So thank you so much for the love.
This tweet drama adds yet another twist to a saga already rich with knockout power, mind games, and superstar energy. With fans and the entire MMA community clamoring for a rematch, the light heavyweight division has never felt more charged. If you want more fight news, updates, and breakdowns, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay locked in by hitting the bell icon. Big fights are coming, and you won't want to miss a thing. And we'll see you in the next video with all the latest news.